You've got the law of attraction on one hand, and then you have organized religion on the other. Now, for a lot of people, these two things feel like they're from completely different worlds. One seems all modern and personal, right? The other feels ancient, structured. But what if? What if they're actually just different names for the exact same truth?
So yeah, that's the big question we're going to tackle. Are these incredibly powerful belief systems just, different languages trying to describe the very same universal principle? Let's dive in and see if we can connect the dots.
Okay, to really get to the heart of this, we need a way to think about it. And honestly, there is no better tool for the job than the ancient parable of the blind men and the elephant. It's a really simple story, but it holds this profound key to understanding how different people can be looking at the same reality and see completely different things.
So, picture this. The first blind man approaches this enormous creature, and he gets a hold of its trunk. Now, based only on what he can feel, this long, flexible, powerful thing, his conclusion is actually pretty logical. He declares an elephant is a type of snake. And from his specific point of view, he's not wrong, but he's not fully right either.
So next up, a second man feels one of the elephant's huge leathery ears. He feels it kind of flapping back and forth. And to him, this idea of a snake is just ridiculous. He says, a snake? No way! An elephant is obviously a kind of giant fan. And again, his experience is totally real and valid, but it's still just one little piece of the puzzle.
And finally, a third man comes along and wraps his arms around one of the elephant's thick, sturdy legs. He feels this rough, solid, almost tree-like shape, and he is completely convinced the other two have lost their minds. For him, the truth is simple. An elephant is a living pillar.
And this is the brilliant part of the story. Each man is describing the truth as he experiences it. And so each of them is partially correct. They're all arguing because none of them can see the whole elephant. They don't get that they're all describing different parts of the very same thing. So keep this elephant in your mind as we move forward, okay?
All right, so let's use our elephant analogy to look at the main question. First up, Christianity. This is maybe the most direct parallel you'll find to the modern law of attraction, and when you put them side by side, the similarities are kind of shocking.
Just look at this breakdown. On one side, the law of attraction tells you to ask the universe for what you want. On the other side, Christianity talks about asking God through prayer. The process is pretty much identical. Ask, believe, receive versus prayer and faith. It's like it's the same operating system, just with a different user interface. You could almost just swap the words universe and God, and the core instruction stays exactly the same.
Now, let's feel a totally different part of the elephant. Buddhism comes at this from a completely different angle. It shifts the focus away from any kind of external power, whether you call it God or the universe, and it puts that power squarely inside of you, in your mind and in your actions.
At the very core of the Buddhist view is a principle that basically translates to elements attract like elements. This is their version of like attracts like. The whole idea is that your internal state, your mental and spiritual vibration, acts like a magnet, and it draws similar energies and situations to you from the world. A positive mind attracts positive things. A negative mind, well, it attracts negative things.
So how do you actually cultivate that positive internal state? Well, Buddhism gives you a very clear action-based path. It's a three-step process. First, you stop doing all harmful things. Second, you actively go out and do good things. And third, and this is the most critical step, you work to purify your mind. Because in this way of thinking, a pure, clear mind is a high vibration mind, the kind that naturally attracts good results.
And hey, this isn't some New Age interpretation either. This is written directly in the ancient scriptures. There's a famous Pali verse that translates to, "Through moral conduct, one attains wealth and prosperity." It's an explicit connection. Your inner state and your actions directly create your outer reality. I mean, that's manifestation plain and simple.
So if these ideas are all so similar, why does the modern law of attraction often create so much confusion, especially somewhere like Thailand? Well, the answer really comes down to a fundamental cultural mismatch between the East and the West.
So here's the crucial point. Most of the popular law of attraction books and videos out there are just direct translations from Western authors. And that material is built on a worldview that's all about an external power, the universe. But the cultural software, let's say, that's running in Thailand is primarily Buddhist, which is all about internal power and self-reliance. And this slide right here shows you why that matters so much. When 95% of the population is Buddhist, The default way of seeing the world is through that lens. So when a teaching shows up that says just ask some outside force for stuff, it can feel completely foreign and honestly even a little ineffective because it just goes against the core cultural program.
And here is that conflict in a nutshell. The Western law of attraction essentially says, ask the universe and you will receive. It's an outward-facing request. But a foundational Buddhist belief translates to, you are your own refuge. It's this profound declaration of inner power and personal responsibility. The focus isn't on asking, it's on becoming the kind of person who is worthy of receiving all through your own actions and your own purified mind. That's the disconnect.
Okay, so let's step back and look at the whole animal. We've examined the trunk, the ear, and the leg. We've seen the idea of an external God, an external universe, and an internal power of the mind and our actions. And this really brings us to the key takeaway. In the end, it really is all the same thing. Whether you call the source of that power God or the universe or the law of cause and effect fueled by a purified mind, you're just describing a different part of the same magnificent elephant. The language changes, the methods might look different, but the fundamental truth is the same. Our inner world creates our outer world.
So the real question isn't which version is right. The question is which version resonates with you. Which description empowers you to create a better life? Which part of the elephant are you touching, and how is that shaping your reality?